Monolith's Wonder Woman game, Warner Brothers Flash game, EA's Black Panther game. You know what all these video games have in common? No, it's not that they're all superhero games. It's that they were all canceled in the year of 2025. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about a big issue I feel is going on in the gaming industry, and that is canceled video games, video game cancellations. I feel like as more time goes on, we get more canceled video games with each passing year. The three I just listed are just a few that happened last year. Now imagine the past 2 or 3 years. Here's a few more for you. The Perfect Dark game by Xbox. You got Days Gone 2, which I guess wasn't over the past few years, but after the first one came out, you know, they kind of just said, nah, we're not doing a second one because the first one didn't do that good. You got The Last of Us Factions 2, you got Titanfall 3, apparently 2 games by Techland, you know, the creators and developers of the Dying Light series. Apparently they canceled 2 games. Prince of Persia Sands of Time was canceled a few weeks ago following Ubisoft laying off a bunch of people. I don't really like using the word laying off, firing a bunch of people and closing off like 6 studios. And again, those are just a few to name, right? There are so many other games that have been canceled over the past year, over the past few years. I feel it's kind of ridiculous. And there are many reasons as to why video games get canceled. It could be because maybe the game simply was not working out in favor of what the studio wanted to do. For example, that's what happened, pretty much what happened with The Last of Us Factions 2. Naughty Dog knew that if they went that direction with their games, like the whole live service multiplayer thing, they would have to put so much time and effort into that they couldn't focus on what they truly want to do, and that's story mode, narrative driven games. Another one that I forgot to mention by PlayStation, the live service multiplayer Spider-Man game, right? That was canceled pretty much because of the same reason for The Last of Us Factions 2. They just didn't want to focus too much on multiplayer games, instead focus on the single player games that they've been doing. In that case, I do respect those, even though sometimes I don't completely agree with them. I think you can strike a balance, especially if you want to have that balance. Like, you can put out The Last of Us Factions 2, but don't overdo yourself. If that's something you wanted to do, then go ahead and do it. Put it out, update the game. Don't put all your time and effort into it though, because at the end of the day, what you really want to do are single player narrative driven games. I think where things really go wrong is where, like, the parent company, the publisher, decide, they say, hey, this is making a lot of money, so just keep doing that, forget about everything else. I think that's the case a lot of times, and it seems Naughty Dog and Insomniac, maybe they just didn't even want to go in that direction whatsoever, so they decided, yeah, we're just going to cancel it. So I can definitely respect it in that aspect, but again, I do think there is a balance that can definitely be had, but both the publisher and developers have to be on the same page about it. And then you have the other side, right? Games that seem to be canceled for absolutely no reason, aka the Flash game, aka the Wonder Woman game, Black Panther game. Let's start with the Wonder Woman game and Flash game, right? Warner Brothers, I always say they just don't like money. I honestly, I don't know what's up with them and just canceling things and not wanting to try new things. They only want to stick with Batman and Batman Forever. The Wonder Woman game was announced, I believe, December of 2021. Following that, there was no news whatsoever. Pretty much nothing. Actually, there was nothing. It was all just rumor and speculation, and then kind of out of nowhere, the game was announced to be canceled. It was being made by Monolith, so the same people who made the Middle-earth games and the whole Nemesis system. Wonder Woman was supposed to have the Nemesis system, which it could have been a great thing, an amazing thing. They've patented that, so now nobody can use it. They kind of just have it in a closet, and it seems like they're never going to use it again, which is very unfortunate because there are many games out there, many developers out there who could probably put it to good use. It was said that the game was going through some hardships, like they couldn't figure out where they wanted to take the game, what direction they wanted to take it in. I believe it was also said that the game got to a certain point and they kind of just started over. Honestly, kind of a lot went on with that game, so I'm not really surprised that it got canceled. I wasn't really surprised when it got canceled because, again, you know, 2021, that's when it was first shown off, one like CGI trailer, and at that point, I don't believe they had any actual game done. And then after that, it was nothing. We saw nothing. There was some like leaked concept art, but again, that was leaked. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Monolith actually got shut down too? Very unfortunate. Like, that's I don't know, man. And then we have the Flash game by Warner Brothers, right? We don't know who this is being developed by, I don't think. But again, the game was being made. Apparently they had something done, actually. I don't know if it was like a lot or anything, but they had something there, and they decided to just completely axe it. Wait, scratch what I just said. I just remembered while editing this, bro. They canceled the Flash game due to poor reception of the 2023 Flash movie. Are you kidding me? How did I forget this? Like, that's so ridiculous. How do you, first of all, nine seasons of the Flash TV show, and you let one movie dictate whether or not you're going to make a game, first of all, you should never let another medium dictate whether or not you're going to do something else, right? Sometimes, but most of the time, no. In this case, absolutely not. It makes me think they actually just didn't want to make a Flash game for some other unknown reason, and they canceled it for some unknown reason. Look, my hypothesis, my theory has always been money laundering. I have no proof. I have nothing, but look, it's got to be that. There's no other explanation. But that game seemed to be completely under wraps and, completely axed. Like, you know how many people wanted a Flash game, how many people talk about a Flash game, and apparently they had something done at least, and they just decided to cancel it. If they can't do a Flash game, if they couldn't handle a Wonder Woman game, who would be like the easiest character apart from like Batman and the Justice League, then there's no way these people can handle a Superman game, or Warner Brothers could even handle the thought of a Superman game. And that's really what's so unfortunate. It's like these publishers, I don't know who's at the top and who's making these decisions, but they can't handle the thought of a challenging, like a challenge. They want to stick to what they know is going to make them money. So that means Batman, more Batman to the end of time. It seems that's the only thing we're going to get. And it's so crazy because there's so much other characters they can use that they have at their disposal. But no, we got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with Batman. We got Batman Arkham Shadows. We're getting Lego Batman this year. We got Gotham Knights back in 2022, and they just completely abandoned that game. And it seems that same studio, Warner Brothers Montreal, is working on another Batman game. It's just sad. It's real unfortunate, man. I don't know who makes these decisions, I always say, but we need to fix this. And then we have EA's Black Panther game I mentioned before. That game, I think it's really like the same situation as the Wonder Woman game. This was announced, I think, in 2023, and nothing up until the cancellation of the game. Another game that I hope is still on track, a superhero game, is the Iron Man game. I believe that's also by EA. I forgot what studio it's from. Motive is the team behind the Iron Man game. I believe they also work on Battlefield, but they're the main team behind the Iron Man game. And then it's also said that there's some people who worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out in 2021. But yeah, nothing's been said about the game since back in 2022 when it was first announced. Games, when this typically happens a lot of times, they get canceled. I mean, you can see with the Black Panther game. So hopefully this isn't the case. An Iron Man game should not be that hard to make. I mean, the mechanics in the Avengers game, the Marvel's Avengers game, I think it was it Crystal Dynamics that made that game? The mechanics in that game were pretty good, actually. So really shouldn't be that hard to make, man. Then going back to Days Gone 2, Days Gone came out in 2019. That game at launch wasn't received the best. It wasn't a terrible game, a bad game by any means, but it was not the best game. It wasn't the most optimized game. It wasn't the most polished game, but over time, people have really warmed up to it, and now a lot of people want a sequel to this game. They even released a remaster of Days Gone last year, and I mean, a lot of people were hoping maybe that was like a test run to see if there was still a want for Days Gone 2. Hopefully that's the case, and hopefully they see, Sony sees that people still want this game. Apparently the remaster did sell pretty well, so again, hopefully that shows Sony that there is still a want for Days Gone 2, but man, we should have had this game, Another issue is that games just cannot be good anymore, or even okay, in that, if the game didn't perform well, if it didn't sell 10 million copies or 15 million copies, then the game was a failure and no, we can't make a sequel. That's what sequels are supposed to do. They're supposed to take the original game or the game previous and build upon it, improve it. And the same thing goes for the third game, the fourth game, so on and so forth. But no, if the first game didn't sell 1 billion copies, then companies just want to completely axe the franchise and move on. We could be on our way to Days Gone 3 right now, bruh. And Days Gone was so hyped when it was first shown off and announced. I remember people got to play the game early and put it out on YouTube. But now we don't have a second one. And for the foreseeable future, it seems like we're not going to have one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoy. That's pretty much what I wanted to yap about today. This is something I think about pretty often because a lot of times when this happens, man, it hurts me. The Wonder Woman game cancellation, the Flash game cancellation, they hurt me. Let me know in the comments what video game cancellation hurt you the most. And as always, if you guys enjoy the video, like it up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.